Coming up on today's Chiefs Report, 5 trade ideas for Kansas City before the 2023 NFL Draft. You see some teams maybe wheeling and dealing this time of year. Free agency slowed down a bit. Teams want to know where they stand before the draft. This is kind of around the time of the Tyreek Hill trade last year. So I've cooked up 5 trade ideas, and we'll go through those here in just a moment. And hey, I want to know, do you want the Chiefs to make a trade? Maybe it's just a simple trade, like trading up or trading down in the draft, or trading away Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or trading for a player. If you want the Chiefs to make a trade, like this video. If you don't, explain why in the comment section you don't want Kansas City to make a trade. Let's get to trade idea number 1 here. Kind of get the obvious one out of the way. DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs, and I'm giving Arizona a 3rd-round pick, and I'll explain why I'm not giving up more here in just a second. Look, I think DeAndre Hopkins is an awesome player. I would love to have him in Kansas City. I think he would be awesome here. You make him your number 1 receiver on this depth chart. Slide Kadarius Toney down. Slide MVS down as your just kind of pure deep threat. Sky Moore, continue to develop him. And then maybe you draft a guy in the later rounds, or I would probably re-sign Justin Watson, and then you are good to go. But here's the reality if you're Arizona at this point. I'm not giving up more than a 3rd-round pick probably if I'm Brett Veach. Take it or leave it. Based on the Brandon Cooks trade, which was a 5th and a 6th for Dallas to acquire him, Arizona still wanting a 2nd and maybe a player for DeAndre Hopkins. Like, what world are you living in? Is DeAndre Hopkins better than Brandon Cooks? Absolutely. I would give up more than a 5th and a 6th. I'm giving you a 3rd, but like at this point, if you're the Cardinals, deal them or don't, because I don't know what you expect at this point, and the leverage isn't that great considering Kyler Murray is probably going to miss most of next season. So I'm offering a number 95 overall. Maybe I'd give up a 2nd if I got a 3rd in return, but other than that, like if I'm Kansas City, like take my 3rd. Otherwise, I'm focusing elsewhere at this point in time because this back and forth is exhausting. Trade idea number 2. With the Commanders, Chase Young to Kansas City and a 4th for number 31 overall. I was hesitant giving up my 1st for Chase Young, but remember, this guy went number 2 overall, and the 1 full year he's played, he's shown major upside. Like his rookie year, he looked like, yep, that's a top 5 talent. 8 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. He was just a game wrecker that season. Got banged towards ACL in the middle of 2021, and that lingered throughout most of 2022 before he played a couple of games late in the year. The ACL tear was clearly a big setback, but you still have 2 years of team control because you can give him his 5th-year option, and he's a damn talented edge rusher. So 31 to get him and a 4th back, it's not bad. Like, who are you going to get at 31 in the draft that's going to be a higher upside at edge? Probably nobody. Like, you're seeing guys like Felix Anadike Uzoma go 31, which I like him, but is he got Chase Young talent? No. I mean, not based on tape or on paper. Doesn't mean he couldn't be better. But Chase Young, if he could just get healthy and get back to, daily regimen and all of that stuff, I still think he can be a game wrecker in this league. He's still very young. I think he's 23. So, yeah, I would absolutely consider this if I was Brett Veach. He doesn't cost a ton of money because he is on a rookie contract. So, some things to consider if you are Kansas City. Now, would you take a chance on Chase Young? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I certainly would, and remember this, Washington could be motivated to trade him or Montez Sweat because they've already paid both Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. They're probably not going to pay 2 edge rushers as well, and both those players are going to be up for contract soon. So Chase Young, Montez Sweat, one of them could be available. Talking about Young today, I would do it. Y for yes. If you wouldn't, type N for no. Now, we have a brand new NFL draft channel that launched during the NFL Combine, and it's gaining some steam, and if you haven't subscribed over there, you should do so. It's youtube.com/chatNFL. Type that link into your browser. Go subscribe. Turn on your notifications. You're going to see NFL draft content, mocks, news, rumors, prospect rankings. You're going to see team-related draft content. You'll see some Chiefs draft videos over there from time to time as well. If you are a NFL draft junkie, this channel is the channel for you. We're plugging out 2-3 videos per day on that channel right now. So go check it out, youtube.com/chatNFL, and let's continue to grow that channel because we love the NFL draft here at Chat Sports. All right, trade idea number 3. This is kind of an interesting one. L'Jarius Sneed to Seattle, who could use a DB, for a second-round pick, number 52 overall. And before you go, Harrison, what the hell? Sneed's our best corner. What are you thinking? I don't necessarily disagree. I do think Sneed is this team's best corner. I also know that he's entering the final year of his rookie contract and that Brett Veach has a good history of finding quality corners in the NFL draft. I loved L'Jarius Sneed. I'm not actively shopping him, but for those reasons, I do think it could happen. You look at what he did last year, great season, right? He's a great tackler as a DB. He can play slot. He can play outside. 3 picks, 11 breakups, 3.5 sacks. They like to bring him on blitzes, 3 forced fumbles. I mean, L'Jarius Sneed's a damn good player. I mean, the fact that Brett Veach found this guy in the 4th round, I would say he's probably a top 20 corner in this league. That's pretty damn impressive. But take this into account as well. You got 3 rookies last year in the draft, and Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, and Joshua Williams, who all contributed and played at a pretty damn high level. Just hear me out. I'm not trying to trade him away. But what if the Chiefs have started to budget for the next couple of years? They got all these big contracts. Mahomes, they're going to have to probably keep Kelsey again on a new deal at some point. Chris Jones is going to need an extension. Brett Veach might say, you know what? What if I can get a day 2 pick for L'Jarius Sneed instead of pay him $12 to $15 million per year? They let Charvarius Ward walk, and it was fine. They traded Tyreek Hill away, guys. Like, this team is not scared to move on from a player even though he's in his prime. You know how you stay relevant with an expensive quarterback and expensive guys at other positions? You draft well. The Chiefs have done that, especially at corner. They've found guys in the later rounds that can come in and play. Hell, Rashad Fenton, good example. 6th-round pick, flipped into Atlanta this past offseason because of how well they did in the draft. So do not be shocked if L'Jarius Sneed gets moved. Again, I'm not actively looking to do it, but if a team's interested, throw me a 50th overall pick or so, yeah, that's something I got to consider if I'm Brett Veach, thinking both in the short term and in the big picture. What would you do with L'Jarius Sneed? Because to me, it's one of these 2 options. You either trade him or you commit to an extension and you keep him long term. T for trade, P for pay. Let me know down in the comments. Let's go to trade idea number 4. This is more of just your trade up in the draft idea. Move up to 19, give up 31 and 63. On the NFL draft value charts, that's kind of the range. Maybe you'd have to throw like a 6th in there as well, just to slightly beef it up for Tampa. But I think 31 and 63 for Tampa would be appealing because they're kind of semi-rebuilding with Tom Brady gone. Maybe they'd rather go the volume route in the draft. For me, this is your go get your wide receiver trade up idea, right? Like, Hopkins doesn't work out, maybe you don't want to pay OBJ, go trade up for into the top 20 and go get a receiver. It's possible no receiver has come off the board by 19. Now, I think it's likely, looking at some of the top draft prospects, that 1 or 2 of these guys is off the board, especially Jackson Smith-Njigba. He probably goes top 15, but maybe he falls. You never know. But between him, Quentin Johnston, and Jordan Addison in particular, I like Flowers and Hyde as well, but those top 3 guys, I think there's a really good chance one of them's available at 19, and I would take any of those guys at 19. I think the value's good. I think they're really good players. I think they're plug-and-play starters in the NFL with big ceilings. Receivers these days in the draft, they're just more ready to play than they were, say, 5-10 years ago. And it really kind of started with that Jamar Chase draft. I mean, all these guys came in and they're just balling right away. I could see it being the case here as well with one of these players. And if you don't land one of these free agent or trade options, trading up into the top 20 could make a lot of sense. You got 10 draft picks to move up. All right, subscribe to us here at the Chiefs Report as well. We'll continue to keep you guys in the loop with the latest Chiefs news and rumors, trade buzz, draft free agency. It's been a hectic offseason, and the draft is less than a month away. We'll have you covered. Hit the sub button. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. All right, final trade here. Kind of a simple one. I've said it a couple of times. I would take anything in a trade for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and that's nothing against him. It's really not. It's just, I think eventually you just have to admit shortcomings, and that's been the case here. 2024 7th. Arizona could use another back. They're kind of thin there. Listen, it just hasn't worked out. It's okay. All GMs miss. I loved Edwards-Helaire coming out of LSU, but he just doesn't have burst. He's not super dynamic. The production's waned year over year. I think it's just time for a breakup. Give him a fresh start. Go to a lower pressure situation in Arizona, a team that's not expected to contend next year, and go compete with James Conner. Maybe he becomes the lead back there. You never know. It doesn't really matter what you're getting back in return for Kansas City. It's more of just clearing up the $2 million in cap space. So I would make that move if I was Brett Veach. bring back Jarrett McKinnon, draft a running back. That's your 1-2-3 punch. Isaiah Pacheco, McKinnon, and whoever you take in the draft. I think that's perfectly fine. And then you are good to go at the running back position. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. 5 trade ideas. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any trade ideas, drop them down in the comments, or you can tweet them at me at HGramNFL. You can also DM me on Instagram your trade ideas at HGramNFL over there as well. Same handle, different platform. It's all the same. I am always available to reach out to. All right, guys, I'm Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.